Earth is a living organism. She breathes, she sees, she feels, and she thinks. We are one with Earth and need her to keep us centered as much as she needs us to realize the profoundness of the center. When we separate ourselves from Earth, when we embody energies that are not compatible with her inner beauty, we create rifts in our consciousness, and she responds accordingly. The truth behind this stands before us in plain sight. Look at the sky during a clear night, and you will see the Great Rift. It is called the Great Rift for a good reason. It is a rift and not a galaxy, as the false light of science tells us. You are not looking toward the Milky Way galaxy. You are looking at a crack in the firmament. You are looking at evidence of an injury she has sustained. A rift is essentially a crack, a split, or a break in something. Her protective layer was cracked, and she healed from it. If there is a disturbance in a living organism, all parts of it will be impacted by it. If the organism is to recover from the disturbance, all parts of it need to work together to enable the recovery to take place. If we allow ourselves to become numb and unable to realize a profound connectedness with Earth, we won't be able to sense the energies that are disturbing her. If we stray away from the center, we stray away from understanding who we are and why we are here. There are signs all around us that point to the center. If you understand these signs, you will find yourself on a path toward understanding why it's so critical to look toward the center for answers. Sacred geometry is all around us. Its nature and purpose is to point us toward the center. For us, the center is the heart. When we look within the heart, we're pointed in the right direction. Incidentally, we should be cautious and skeptical of energies projected by imagery, objects, and organisms that lack sacred geometry. They have no center and thus have no heart. They will mislead you. The moon is a prime example. She lacks sacred geometry. She lacks a center, and thus lacks a heart. Being guided by her energies will lead you away from the center, away from the heart, and away from balance, harmony, and inner beauty. As Earth is a living, breathing organism, she expresses herself in very direct ways. Look at the sky above us, and you will see the energy she's projecting. How often have you associated gloomy skies with feeling lost, disconnected, and astray? How often have you looked toward the west at dawn and have been taken by the presence of the sun that lights up the clouds as he emerges before us? There exists a direct relationship between the state of the sky and the energies you embody. I live in the mountains just outside of Sacramento, California. Sacramento is not only the capital of one of the largest economies in the world, and by the way, an economy is not exactly compatible with Earth's energies. Sacramento is a highly urbanized, concrete-covered island that's nestled in between two mountain ranges. Like most cities, Sacramento has an urban core that contains dense concentrations of its population. It also has all the problems that are associated with unnaturally concentrating humans and detaching them from nature. When these elements are combined with Sacramento's status in the world's political and economic landscape, the presence of energies that counter Earth's harmonious sustenance becomes apparent. Most winter days in Sacramento are gloomy. The sky is not exactly what I would describe as overcast. Rather, it is opaque, blurred, and devoid of the sun's life-yielding energies. Clear skies are a rarity in Sacramento. There's this omnipresent and eerie murkiness that can't be described using the grammars and vocabularies of science. In the spring, the sky's clear for a few weeks before the summer heat engulfs the concrete island. When there's heat, there's often haze. And from within the city, the haze is not really noticeable, but it can definitely be seen when I descend 2,000 feet in elevation as I trek down the highway from my home in the mountains. Despite the almost daily dose of summer wind from the California Delta, the gray and brown haze continues to loom above the city on a daily basis. The sky above Sacramento is a stark reflection of what is occurring on the ground at the energetic level. When we become detached from nature, detached from the center, and when we fail to exude heart-based energies, the sky speaks to us. When we embrace a false light, the sky speaks to us. Speaking of false light, the courtyard in Sacramento City Hall has a moon bowl. It's designed to collect moonlight and concentrate its energy and channel it into Earth. And incidentally, what part of Earth sits beneath us? What part of Earth is receiving this energy? The black sun. This is intentional, but a feeble attempt to insert the false light into our consciousness. And many decisions opposing Earth are also ceremoniously made by proclaimed leaders under the energy of moonlight. This is by design, and a video about this is forthcoming. Conversely, none of the conditions I've described exist where I live in the mountains. Many of the people that compromise the inhabitants of Sacramento's urban core will not find comfort in the mountains. Why is this? It's because the natural landscape shares this beautiful symbiosis with Earth in ways that are impossible on an urbanized concrete island. The energies that resonate throughout the natural landscape in the mountains vibrates at a different frequency than the energies resonating in Sacramento's urban core. The mountains outside Sacramento are not as hospitable to the energy Sacramento projects. This is evidenced in conversations I've had with many mountain residents I cross paths with. There's this common thread in their perceptions of Sacramento. They find themselves unable to tolerate being in Sacramento's urban core for an extended number of days. And many of them are organic portals. And yes, the mountains have them too. And many don't understand why they feel as they do, but the answer stands in the skies right above them. The physical sciences will tell us otherwise. They may describe and analyze Sacramento's topography and tell us what I just described as purely meteorological, but I'm not looking to science for answers. We find ourselves interested in healing our skies due to the false light coming from science and not due to a lack of it. Keep in mind that Earth is a living organism. It is responding to disbalance, disharmony, and a lack of inner beauty being projected by its inhabitants. It's also healing from it. And as a part of Earth, it is our responsibility to support the healing process. When we stand with Earth, the skies will heal. When we stand in truth, the skies will heal. Given that we are our own gods and play the most important role in creating our realities, what we see in the sky is a projection. If we are consciousness, and Earth is simply a place where our consciousness materializes into what we can see, feel, hear, and experience, we can change it simply by standing in truth and allowing the false light to take its course and eventually decay. Since what we see in the sky is a projection, we are the projector. We have control over the electrical signals that translate into what is tangible to us. Take a look at these time lapses of the sky. I've intentionally turned them upside down so we can see the sky for what it really is. There's an obvious layer upon which the projection takes place. Since we are of Earth, the sky is really us. And when we stand in truth, so will the sky. That's all for now. Be well, sun gaze, and thrive selflessly.